And we're live.
We're live.
Was actually reading some of the drawing standards.
Oh, really? That's good.
And then I got bored of it, so I ate some edibles.
You did already?
I did, like
How are you doing
6.
now?
Good. And then I started noticing after a few minutes, like after half an hour or so, that I am reading what I'm reading.
Okay.
And I'm reading the words correctly, but my head was imagining a different thing. And it's like making scenarios of like possibilities of conversation with other people. And I was like, okay, yeah, fuck, here we go.
And how are you?
And I was like,
now? How are you feeling now?
good, man, good. And then I realized that I'm already at this state. Might as well just, enjoy it now,
I see, yeah.
But not studying is good though.
Not studying is good. Oh, yeah.
How about you, man? This is my first time reading the module for the standard drawing. I don't know. Somehow I need to read it myself because whenever he's explaining it in class,
Yep.
like I would understand some of the things, but it seems like it's too fast of a pace.
Oh my god, he goes so fast. Like how I explain it to some people, I'm like, yeah, it's like 30 seconds a page.
Yeah.
We're just cruising through.
Okay, so it's not just me.
It is fast. It's just like for me,
Damn.
I have a really good way of categorizing the things he says and what is important, what's not important.
Right.
So like I'll sum up a whole page into bullet points.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I look back on my notes. I'm like, okay, what can I remember about these bullet points from the module? This is the detail, this detail, this detail.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I don't remember this one. What the fuck is this word?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like hydration in regards to concrete. Like that's the curing of the concrete.
Yeah.
Which is when it starts to set.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I actually never knew that. And I'm hoping I remember.
Yeah.
Because I made the bullet point.
And yeah. I mean, it helps to whenever he's talking. So sometimes I can't decide whether I'm gonna start writing notes or just listen to him and then do the notes later at home. You know what I mean? Because sometimes he would talk about stuff that would help you remember the important stuff.
Right.
But,
and then, the stories and whatnot, the way he explains it.
Exactly.
He's a new teacher.
Yeah.
And like his work experience directly relates to the stuff he's teaching.
Yeah.
Some of it is a bit fuzzy in his recollection, but the module helps.
Yeah.
And the way he explains it in story form is super helpful.
Yeah.
Because not only are we learning it, like I've had teachers that know nothing about the subject they're teaching.
Yeah.
And they're just like, yeah, you have a question? They're like, yeah. And they just read the words from the book to you again.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I didn't understand it the first time I read it, and now you're reading it to me.
Yeah.
Totally helps.
Yeah, that's
Whereas he is very good at not over explaining, but explaining sufficiently so that
that's what I said. Like, almost in the same line when I write my review to him too.
Yeah.
I said it in a short form, like a sentence each, but on the bullet form kind of point. And I just said that he's enthusiastic to work, and you can feel the enthusiasm when he teaches it. And like he really loves carpentry. Yeah. It's not just somebody that does the job for the money. So
I have a feeling like him and Fletcher would get along real good.
Yeah, dude. No, that's what I'm thinking. I feel like they have the same fucking movements, same.
Yep. Body language.
Yeah, and whenever they talk, they have to take a deep breath.
Yep.
Like, dude, like when I'm seeing him in the fucking shop, I was like, damn, this is like Fletcher 2.0. He's like, I'm like, fuck. Dude, I didn't think you'd think that same way.
No, I totally thought that. Like the way that Fletcher kind of sneaks in his vast knowledge here and there.
Yeah.
He's like, realistically, this is the legal proper way to do things. And I know this from when I did this and this and this. Like he tells a story about a time when he had to refer to the code and he had actually memorized from his 4 years of apprenticeship training. And I was like, oh, interesting. And then this guy, John, he's exactly the same.
Yeah. Fuck, man. They're identical.
Yeah. That's cool.
But I guess that's what makes a good carpenter.
Oh, fuck.
That kind of personality.
Yeah. And
perfect for the job.
There's some other personalities. I think one of he was explaining, it might have been today, a story about an old man that was teaching it, and Maybe it wasn't teaching.
Oh,
Maybe it was on the job.
I think I only got half of it because I was
okay.
I was outside.
But basically, like an old guy who has lots of experience, but like lack of modern carpentry and not how to lose an eye or a finger here and there.
Yeah.
And do things safely and properly.
Right. Yeah.
Just like in some ways I in all the ways I respect my elders and the way that they have their experience and the way they learn.
For sure.
Like, but sometimes when I work with other old folks, some have already actually finished working entirely, they're retired.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm working with people and I really, as a new guy, I really question
the way they do
it and then the way they justify it. They're like, oh, well, this is faster.
Yeah. Or
they're like, oh, well, when they put drywall on it, it all looks the same.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
That's great to be teaching a first year.
Yeah, no, like some of them are not good explainers. Maybe just show you. But dude, I like working with the old guys, man. Like I like the stories. Like that's not, man. You get through the day so fast with them just telling you a bunch of shit. You know, you don't even have to listen to your music. They are the entertainment. Yeah. Fuck, that's what I like about those Carmacks boys. Whenever I'm working with them, they be just constantly talking. And I'm like, dude, I need that. You know, like I need somebody talking because I'm focused on doing this.
Yeah.
Like, come on, just keep telling me stories.
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah.
Those guys have crazy fucking stories, man. Like
the
with their life.
Guys?
Yeah. All of them are criminally charged, man.
Yeah.
But they're not bad guys, man. That's the thing.
No, they're chill.
Like, but they have because whenever somebody's criminalized, they're thought of as bad people.
Yeah.
You know, that's like your initial what do you call this? First impression.
Yeah.
But man, knowing them and them having records like the way they do, the way they have, and seeing them in person and being with them in person, it feels like it doesn't match my expectation. You know, I was like, dude, I thought you were gonna be like some sort of like a criminal person portrayed in the movie. You know, but man, that shit fucking cool, and that's what I like about them.
Yeah, I noticed I really heat up when we start doing the drawings.
Yeah?
I don't know why it is. Maybe like just the brain power.
For sure. Yeah, perhaps. Man, that takes lots of power.
I'm focusing really hard, so I heat up.
Yeah.
I start sweating when I'm
intensity
drawing and like staring at the lines on the measuring tape in millimeters.
Right.
I'm like, what the fuck?
Dude, fuck. On a job site, I never see the metric measurement. You know what I mean?
So government builds, they have all the paperwork in metric.
Yeah.
However, especially commercial, supervisor and the owner go through all of that. They go over it all and they redo it in imperial. So that the workers can read it.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah. I think most of the workers, even from other companies here, they refer to the imperial. Like most of the people here.
Yeah, and that thing too that like kind of fucks me up is like, so 600 millimeters on center. That's I think 16 on center. I don't know exactly.
Center. Yeah, I think so.
Well, when you look at blueprints that say 600 on center, it is not 600 on center. If you have a 100-foot long building, if you go 600 on center, you're wrong at the end of it. Like when you get to the end, it'll be way out. Because when you see 600 on center, you're supposed to switch to imperial and just know that it's 16 inches on center.
Yeah.
Because that's the standard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what the fuck? And like I argue with my buddy Vlad and even Jose about metric and imperial because they say, oh, metric is so easy, it's factor of 10 and whatnot. Like it's so much easier to understand. Okay. And I'm like, okay, but if you were to tell me like how far is 100 feet and how far is 100 meters? Of course, they're way different measurements.
They are. Yeah.
But like in terms of distance.
Yeah.
But like
3 times more.
I can't visualize 100 meters.
Yeah.
I know it's 1/10 of a kilometer and I can kind of estimate a kilometer based on how long it takes me to run a kilometer or walk a kilometer or drive a kilometer and how far it looks to see a kilometer. But like visualizing it it's not easy. And like our building the condos that we built, that was it was just over 200 feet wide from end to end.
Right.
So that's 200 feet. So in my mind and the way that we worked, that's my base. So half of that is roughly 100 feet. It's not very far. You can walk it in less than 30 seconds.
Right.
But that using that same in-person experience and like measuring in millimeters like it's like measuring in cunt hairs.
Mhm.
You know, you use that measurement. It's like 5/8 and a cunt hair.
Yeah,
More.
I can't hear.
But millimeters are like that measurement.
Yeah.
And at 4,000 millimeters, you know, like 4 meters. It's like, why not? However far 4 meters is in feet, because I know what a foot looks like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Fair enough. Yeah, for me, like back home, we're used to metric.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but when I came here and I started doing the job, I got used to imperial.
Right.
So now everybody's, and I know that everybody's used to imperial. So like I don't get the point of switching it, you know, getting used to metric and then come back here and you know, you in the real world we actually use imperial, especially here in Canada.
Yeah.
So that for me
in
is
terms
just
of construction.
yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
like, if you're working in like science and physics and stuff, and you're using like extreme scientific, I don't know, like rocket science,
Yeah.
for example.
I guess more
It's like-
precise measurement.
People always say more precise, but a measurement is a measurement. The inch hasn't changed in quite a long time. But like, that being said, since it's the international standard metric pretty well, it makes more sense to be able to exchange notes and not have to do the conversions.
Right.
But like in our working with our hands, I feel like imperial is more easy. More easy is maybe not easy, but like, because if I grew up and I learned everything in metric, maybe I'd be better in metric.
Yeah.
But like, yeah.
No, I guess, but metric is just more, what do you call this? Precise in terms of how strong they are. You know, like you move it and you can determine what it is in a whole number, not a 16th of a number, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you could say
can't
it's
visualize.
you can say like it's a one. Fucking what's lower than millimeter?
Micrometer,
Something like that. You could do that,
Yeah.
right?
and it's a factor.
And it's a
of 10.
whole number.
Yeah.
It's not a fraction. That's why
Yeah.
I think it's
Another thing, the only thing that's ever fucked me up with fractions is the one time I was sent to Kilrich to get like lumber and stuff,
Mhm.
and I was told to pick up 5/4 material, like
5/4.
It was 5/4 type of plywood,
Mhm.
and I was like, I called Wayne and I'm like, there has to be an error. There's no such thing in my mind of a 5/4. That's more than 1 inch. Like, why wouldn't it be 1 1/4?
Oh, okay.
Like, what is 5/4? Like, I don't know what
Right,
5/4 is.
Yeah.
Plywood.
That's what
He's like, it's 1 1/4 inch. And I'm like,
wait, like,
what?
yeah.
So why do they call it 5/4 plywood of whatever type of plywood it was?
Yeah.
It was like some fancy board.
Yeah.
But I was like, huh?
Yeah.
That's the only time it's fucked me up is when they used, what's that word?
But it kind of do make sense once.
But it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes
'Cause
sense.
They're
just-
yeah.
We're not used to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But then the other thing that fucks me up too is going into metric. What is a 2x4? 89 by
Right. Yeah, that's
18 or
right because
no,
it's an inch
30?
and a half, and
32?
an inch is fucking 25.4 of a millimeter. So you times it for
Oh my
another.
god, that breaks my
Yeah.
And then the fact that there's hard
Soft conversion?
and soft conversion.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Like, what's the soft conversion for
Yeah.
this? And I'm like, I don't know. I only memorized the hard conversion.
I know. So
in the real world, if I
Yeah.
had to, I'd use the hard conversion.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what's fucked up too. Is it's easy to think it's precise, but then they have soft conversions.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of, and maybe that 600 on center is a soft conversion, which is why it's not.
Yeah,
as
sure.
accurate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's easier to remember. That's why they need a fucking soft conversion.
But like, I remember I've seen plans where, well, we see plans like in our exams where it's like a length of a wall is 12,484 millimeters. You're like, 12,000 what now?
Yeah, I
Why?
guess. Yeah.
If I can throw a ball far enough and it's measured in tens of thousands
Yeah.
of something,
Yeah,
why the hell?
yeah, yeah.
Whereas like that same measurement, like what, 12 meters, that's 30 feet, 36 feet, something like that. But like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
just me thinking 3
Yeah.
feet and a yard and a
It's
yard
closer to
is
40.
close to a meter.
yeah,
But like
yeah. They probably call it around 40. The fucking
40,000.
the 12 meters.
Oh yeah, might be closer to yeah. I always put it in 2 just because like You know, the places where you drive slow, you're more likely to be near people. And if your nice, new-looking truck is grinding and squealing, it doesn't look so good.
No. Yeah.
Plus wear and tear on the machine. I don't want to...
That's more of the reason. That's my initial fucking... That's my initial thought. And then all of a sudden you said, yeah, that makes sense too, I suppose.
Because when I see a nice truck drive by and it's like clank, 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 like going by, I'm like, that's daddy's money. That guy doesn't know how to take care of his shit. And I don't want to be that guy. Because I judge those guys. I'm like, oh, that guy's a new truck and he can't even afford to maintain it. So I don't want to be like that guy, a person that looks like that guy.
Fair enough. That's good.
Yeah, like when I worked at Integra, I'd always see it too. There'd be like you could tell that they're low income, and of certain money is a factor. But they come in with a brand new $100,000 vehicle, and they're like, "You got any used tires? Put on for winter tires? I only have summer tires." And then we go and look in the back, and we're like, "Yeah, well, we don't have any." Or no, we'll say like, okay, well, it's $80 per tire for 4 tires, and your vehicle's all-wheel drive, so you need 4 new tires. You can't just take 2 and put them on the back. And have 2 front summer tires. Like, we won't legally be allowed to do that because you'll leave the shop unsafe. You know, if we do that, we're liable. And they'll be like, oh, well, we can't afford $80 a tire. And I'm like, you have a $100,000 fucking truck, man.
That's like poor mindset. You know, that's like the poor mentality. Is that
or a flat tire? Like they can't afford to replace a destroyed tire, and they're like, "Well, just put it back on." We're like, "We cannot. If you leave the shop and crash immediately or at any point, you could sue us." And the reason why the rules changed, like they changed while I was working at Integra, it was like because that had happened where a tire was not safe to drive on. It's like, if we see the tire's not safe while it's still on the rim, we can leave it on the rim and put it back on. But if we pull the rubber off the rim, off the wheel, and then put it back on after seeing it's not safe, we're liable because it actually went to court and the tire shop lost lots of money.
Even if the driver, the owner of the vehicle wants it back.
Demands it.
Damn. What the fuck?
Yeah. So we, like, as Integra, I don't work there anymore, but as Integra, since they saw that and that a tire shop somewhere else in Canada got like fucking like destroyed by how much it cost to because they got sued, Integra changed their policy that if we take off your tire and before we took the rubber off, it looked like it could have been repaired, and we see on the inside it is not repairable, like it's damaged in whatever way. We can't repair it, and we can't put it back on because if you leave, it's been proven you could sue us for it. And a lot of people are like,
so what happens then?
Their vehicle gets towed out.
So then
or we put their spare on if they have a spare. And oftentimes if I notice people don't have a spare, I'll recommend it to them. I would have recommended it to them when I worked there. But people would be like, oh, well, I can't really afford a $100 wheel and a $80 spare rubber tire, like $180 for a set, like a spare.
Because you can sell those too.
And I've seen people with brand new trucks that like when they try to get their spare tire off, they don't know how, so they'll just cut the cable that holds the tire up.
And
I'm like, yo, you have a key in the back seat with a rod that fucking lets the tire down, a little winch. Oh my god, people, you ever hear that? I probably told you, but have you heard that story about that like couple that was going north on the North Klondike Highway? Well, I'll tell the story again because it's fucking funny. Well,
unfortunate.
It's something. It's something. So what happened was they're going up to Dawson and it was -30, and they're going up on like a Wednesday night, like a night where between midnight and 6 a.m. there's very little traffic. So if something happens to you, you're kind of fucked. What happened was, I think they ran out of gas. Like nothing was wrong with the vehicle. I think they ran out of gas, and they were like in the middle of nowhere, hours from cell phone service, on a Wednesday night, on a very low populated road. And what they did, because it was -30, and they were not dressed for it, They had no blankets. They had no fire starting kit. They had nothing. And all they had was like cigarettes and a lighter.
Later, yeah.
And they took the things in their vehicle and they lit their seats on fire. And let this be known, it was a brand new vehicle.
Yeah.
It was like the same year that it was. And I want to say like, fuck, I can't even recall what year it was. I want to say like 2020 or 2019.
Yeah.
Like a brand new vehicle from that year. Probably they didn't buy it that time when we were driving north, but they had it for a little bit.
Dude, imagine the insurance company if they'll even
I have no fucking clue. That's like such a fucking wild card.
Or a warranty.
My warranty cover it.
Maybe that's what they thought of.
If I light my truck on fire. So yeah, they lit their vehicle on fire, and then they stood on the side of the road with their hands out, warming their hands, while their vehicle burned. And I guess somebody had driven up the road, like a semi-truck driver or something, and saw them standing on the side of the road, warming themselves beside their burning brand new vehicle to keep warm. And I'm like, holy hell, like how fucking stupid can you be?
Damn, fuck.
Yeah.
I guess they're not fucking like who, do you know, like, is it older people that?
I have no idea the age.
Fuck, if it's older people, then I guess they can really go out and do something.
I feel like if you're older and you live in the Yukon, you should have some smarts.
Yeah.
Have some.
But then to drive up on Wednesday tells you who owns the vehicle.
Yeah.
No.
I have no fucking clue.
Oh, fuck. And when was this?
I want to say like 2020 or 2019.
Oh, wait, fuck. It's recent?
Like in the last few years it happened. It wasn't last year, it wasn't the year before, but it was within, I want to say 5 years it happened.
Holy fuck. I didn't even heard about it that time.
Yeah, I like read it on Facebook or something. Like there's a news post about it. And then I looked into it and I read the comments. And I just like did some online searching into like the details exactly.
Yeah. And
I was like, holy fuck. Like,
what is most of the comments says?
Sorry for your loss, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, they're more sympathetic.
How scary. They're sympathetic.
Oh, I see.
And I was like, huh. I mean,
you should have commented, what a dumb motherfucker.
Yeah, what a dumb motherfucker. Another story. It was, this is a better story. More wholesome. There was a young couple, they were teenagers, and they lived up by Fish Lake Road, somewhere up there near Fish Lake. And this guy, teenager, you know what it's like living in the boonies and having machines and doing whatever you want.
For sure.
He took his girlfriend out for a skidoo ride, like late at night. Maybe not late, but like
sometime.
At some time, and like it was in the evening for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
And what happened was they went snowmobiling out on the lake, and they went to the far end of the lake, and the snow was like 3 feet or more deep, like quite deep.
Damn.
And snow drifts.
Yeah.
And what happened was the machine like either broke down or ran out of fuel. I feel like it broke down.
And how far away did they go?
Many hours walk. And
many hours walk.
Many hours. Like,
oh, okay.
I want to say like 6 to 8 hours of walking.
Damn. And
it was maybe like minus 20 during the day.
That's foreshadowing of the story you're gonna tell me.
And so it was like probably like minus 20 earlier in the evening.
Still fucking cold,
and
man.
Still kind of pretty cold, but whatever. But they were wearing like hoodies and jeans, and sneakers. Fuck. Like not winter. They had gloves and hats on. Yeah. But not winter prepared.
Yeah, for sure.
And the machine stopped running, and they were faced with this problem: is their machine died, and it was many hours trudging through deep ass snow across a very windy lake. And it was minus 20, and it got colder, like closer to like 30, like probably 27 at night when they were out there. And the guy, teenager guy, he was like, he had some knowledge about how the world fucking works and how to rescue yourself and take care of things. He actually was able to start a fire, and they were able to maintain a fire overnight and stay warm and alive and not frozen to death. Right. The way that he started a fire was he took the spark plug So in the back of a lot of Skidoos, they have like a little kit with the tools relative to that machine to do small maintenance. He was able to remove the spark plugs right from the machine. He put it back in the boot, or the what is it? The cord that connects to the spark plug. And he was able to trudge in the bush and collect fire, like kindling and light,
light fuel,
very flammable small fuel. And he was able to use the spark plug and pull on the pull start to use the spark to start a fire. And what had actually happened was the next morning they were still by that fire, and there's a lot of dog mushers up there that have their trails. A dog musher found them the next morning.
That's good.
And brought them to safety.
Yeah. And where was this? Where is this?
Fish Lake.
Damn.
So they were like up there, and like that's like in the mountains pretty much.
And when was this?
When?
Yeah.
A long time ago.
A long time ago? Longer than
I want to say more
longer
than
than the previous story.
Yes. I want to say more than 10 years.
Okay, got it.
I was told this when I was a teenager.
Wait, were you told this, or did you read this on news, or?
I was told this story.
Oh, okay, got it.
Not certain it's 100% credible, because I heard it from somebody.
Yeah.
But that's like some real fucking Yukon ingenuity.
Yeah.
Like, if I was in that situation, and I mean, I borderline have, not as far to walk though.
Yeah.
I've walked home.
Yeah.
There's one time actually I walked home really fucking far, and I told my grandpa what happened. Basically, I flipped the Skidoo, and it's carbureted, so when you flip it upside down, it loses fuel.
Yeah.
And then in the process of trying to start it, I flooded it. Like, I had too much choke, and it wouldn't start. Like, I didn't start with pulling with the choke, but then eventually I needed the choke, I felt like. And I kept going, and there's too much fuel in the cylinders to ignite.
Too rich, yeah.
And so I finally gave up, and I was like 12. And I walked home, and it got so late. It was like midnight by the time I got home. And when I got home, I was crying. And I like opened the door, and Grandpa's like, "Where are you? We're worried sick about you." And he's like, "We're gonna get you a phone so you can contact us." Blah blah blah. Because I didn't have a phone. I was fucking 12.
Right.
And and the Skidoo doesn't have reverse either. So in the position that it was in, I had to drag it a 180. Like, I had to turn it 180 degrees to get out of where I was and back over the rough terrain. Okay, that's ahead in the story. My grandpa, do you know what he said to me? "You're not leaving my Skidoo out there. Go and get it." And I was like, "Well, could you drive me like down the road to the start of the trail at least, and or come with me and help me start it? I don't think I can start it." And he's like, "No, it's too fucking late. Like, it's too late at night for me to help you like go out and do this. I'm settled and going to bed soon."
What the fuck?
So yeah, I went back out crying.
Damn. So did you end up getting it?
It started on the first fucking pull when I got there. But then I risked flipping it again, trying to get out of where I got it flipped. Because it was like really rough. And
And how long was his walk?
I want to say at least like 2-ish hours, like between 2 and 3 hours.
Damn.
And I was 12. And that Skidoo weighed like 300 or 400 pounds. And I weighed like 70 pounds.
Yeah. Damn.
Oh my God.
That's good though. That teaches you builds character.
It taught me a little bit.
Yeah.
It taught me to be more careful.
For sure.
Not fuck around. The more you fuck around,
the more you find out, man. But hey, you did, and you made it.
Yeah, I was.
And you get to live to tell the story.
Yeah, I lived to tell the story. It was like very embarrassing. I think I was crying because of the embarrassment.
Right.
And then also like the expecting disappointment.
Yeah.
Like, that's what kind of upset me the most.
Yeah. Fuck.
But yeah,
hey, your grandpa gave you a story.
It was a good lesson. It was a good lesson.
You hated him at the time, but now you appreciate it.
I can't even put the lesson into short, simple words, but there was a lesson in there.
There you go. Yeah.